All right guys, so it's about that time where I need to drop a 2024 dropshipping guide. Now, so much has changed with the dropshipping landscape over the past couple of years. It's actually quite crazy. Literally every day I feel like there's a new update to Shopify or a new app or subscription coming out that can literally change your entire business. And while this is a good thing, there's so many more people flooding into the dropshipping space on both ends: consumers, business owners, gurus, YouTube teachers, all this stuff. It's quite honestly getting crazy. It leaves a lot of people extremely overwhelmed. Because look, when I started back 4 or 5 years ago, there was a couple guys posting about dropshipping, maybe 3. Right? And so the information that was out there was so bare bones, and that allowed me to just watch a few YouTube videos and dive headfirst into it. And although now there's so much more resources and information available for free, it's also to the point where there's information overload, which is why I don't want to sit here for 10 hours, 15 hours and go into every last little detail. But at the same time, I don't want to overwhelm you with so much stuff that you do not need to know. The whole goal is for you to be able to watch this one video and then start taking action in one sitting. So without any further ado, welcome back to the channel. My name's Nathan Nazareth, and welcome to the dropshipping guide you've been waiting for. Pull out your notepad and pen, because this is probably going to be the most valuable presentation of the year, and I want to ensure that each and every one of you leave this video and start taking serious action today. All right, so first things first, guys. E-commerce or dropshipping is simply selling things online, right? We sell physical products and we fulfill using the dropshipping method you see below. Essentially what happens is we find a supplier, typically in China, although it's now much easier to work with suppliers that hold inventory in North America, in the United States, or even across Europe. And we source products from these suppliers that are selling well, that are trending, that you can make creatives to run on TikTok ads, Facebook ads, you can run them organically for free. And we're trying to drive sales of these hot products, right? Then we're building a storefront on Shopify, setting up the website and connecting it to our supplier. Every single person who sees our TikTok post or Facebook ad and comes onto our website and purchases the product will receive their order that is fulfilled by the third-party supplier, therefore meaning that you don't have to touch any inventory in between. You don't have to spend any kind of money whatsoever, especially if you're using free traffic. And literally nowadays, you can get started with $1. Now, before we move to the next slide here, there's one thing that I want to clarify, right? So in this video as well, I'm gonna be giving you guys all the secrets, because this is very raw, right? Like I didn't polish, I didn't script any of this. I'm just going over my slide deck to teach you how to get into Ecom the right way. So this is where I'm gonna reveal all sorts of golden nuggets within this video. And the first one is a very common misconception I see all the time. And that's the fact that dropshipping is a side hustle, a party trick, a way to make a quick buck, a get rich quick scheme. It's not. If you wanna commit to dropshipping, you're committing to a career in e-commerce. Sure, you can make it a side hustle, you can make that work, but 9 times out of 10, if you don't go all in, you will fail. Because dropshipping, you see, is simply a fulfillment method. It's simply having the third-party supplier fulfill your order so that you don't have to touch any inventory. And guess what happens once you start to see some success with this? You want to take the next step. You want to order that product into a warehouse. You want to put custom branding, packaging, logos, all these sorts of things. And it comes to a certain point where you're no longer even a dropshipper. When you're investing in inventory up front and making product iterations, well, at that point, you just have a brand, a physical product e-commerce brand. And so I like to think of dropshipping as the leanest, easiest, and most effective way to start a business from scratch, especially as a beginner, because it's such minimal investment required. And that's the truth of it. So now that that's cleared up, we now need to talk about why you should pick Ecom. I mean, you've probably seen other videos, people trying to get you into crypto, Forex, affiliate marketing, day trading, whatever. But let me explain to you right now why, in my opinion, e-commerce is the best, not only if you're a beginner, but also if you are an intermediate or advanced. If you have some money on your side, if you're starting from scratch, regardless of your situation, e-commerce is the best because it has the lowest barrier to entry, which means that it's perfect for anyone at any stage of life. Even me now, I've made millions of dollars online over the past couple of years, but e-commerce is still my best bet above real estate, above, investing millions of dollars to manufacture my own products from scratch. Because guess what happens when I take these big shots? 9 times out of 10, you will fail. You've all seen the statistics. statistics on starting a business or starting a new venture. But with dropshipping, it's okay to fail. It's okay to fail 9 times out of 10 because you haven't invested that much time, you haven't invested that much capital, right? You're gaining proof of concept, you're seeing what works, and then you're doubling down. I mean, just think about that for a second. You have the opportunity to start a business that can make you millions of dollars with practically no risk involved. Maybe a little bit of your time and energy. But chances are, unless you're Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg, your time and energy ain't worth that much. And you're much better off taking the risk and taking this shot at starting a business that could change your life. Not to mention that all the skills you learn while building your brand literally transfer to any realm of making money online. I mean, think about it. When you start an e-commerce store, you have to know how to build a website. You have to know how to run ads. You have to become very good at creating videos that go viral on TikTok. Now, where can these skills get you? Just to name a few. Creating viral TikToks, you can start a personal brand. That's exactly what I did. I started creating TikToks, then it went to YouTube and so on and so forth. And now I'm right here delivering value to you guys and making money off of it as well. Right next, you have building a website, something I also did. I had an agency where I literally built websites for local clients and sometimes made up to $2,000 per piece. On top of that, you have email marketing, you have SMS flows. You start to learn all these things, then you can sell a consulting offer, you can sell a course if you want. You can literally go in any direction when you start to build these skills that is necessary to run your first dropshipping store. I'm telling you, it is perfect because you get to learn every last piece of the equation. Not only that, but you can run your brand from anywhere at any time. If you guys know me, if you follow me on Instagram, if you stayed up to date with me, you've known that over the past couple of years, I have been traveling. Literally there's been maybe 2 weeks of the entire last year where I was at home. That's it. The rest of the time I was across Europe, I went to 7, 8 different countries in Europe. I went to Japan, I went to Bali, Indonesia, Australia. I lived out there for a few months and I had all these amazing experiences that I never would have had if it weren't for e-commerce. I could literally sit behind my laptop from anywhere in the world and make serious progress. Not only that, but I was meeting and networking with such amazing, cool people from all over the world that broadened my perspectives and put more money in my pocket from doing this. So you can literally engineer your lifestyle to make you even more money and be a heck of a lot more fun when you're in this business model. And although technically you can get started with $1 if you use my Shopify link, because I'm a partner with Shopify, I like to say it's a roughly $30 upfront investment per store. And I'll explain why in just a moment. But when you think about it, guys, you're investing $30 to change your life, or have a shot at least at changing your life. And if that doesn't work, invest another 30 and another 30, another 30. And guess what happens? 10 stores later, yeah, you failed 9 times, but you're finally gonna have some success. Maybe if you're really smart or you have a certain skill set with creatives and marketing, you can hit it in 2 or 3. But being realistic, look, you're probably gonna fail 9 times. Even with amazing information like this at your fingertips, everything that you would need, that is just the way it goes. There's a certain level of quality in creating TikTok organic videos that you can really only achieve and truly understand through failing. And I swear by this because every single person I know who's became successful with e-commerce has failed. I haven't met a single person who's just knocked it out of the park on their first go. I genuinely don't think that exists. But my point being, you will get there if you just keep going. And like I said, it's $30 per store, per product test, whatever you want to call it. And we can just skip past this page. Honestly, it's just a page of a handful of results my team threw in the slide deck. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen my stories. You've probably watched some of my other YouTube videos. You know that this shit is real. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the numbers. You've not only seen it for myself, but you've probably seen it from many other creators out there online. And when I was first starting, I was hella skeptical because there's 2 or 3 people creating content on this, right? I was like, this shit has to be a scam. But I think now in 2024, it's become evidently clear that making money online is farthest thing from a scam, and quite literally everyone is doing it to some degree or another. Sure, not everyone's making millions of dollars a month, but I'm sure you guys know people in your circle who have closed a client for $2,000 a month, who have started a dropshipping store and had their first sale. So if I was making this video a year or 2 ago, I would talk a lot more about proof and numbers. But I think you guys can just take a look around. Take a look around at how the world has changed. Look at me, 22 years old, sitting in my dream apartment. I have a Lamborghini downstairs. I have dream watches. I've taken care of my family, friends, so on and so forth. I'm always traveling. And I'm just one example. And at the end of the day, I'm a small fish compared to what's out there. There's people that I know in my immediate network who make 10 times as much money as I do, and they're not even on social media, so you wouldn't even know who they are. But once you start getting connected with more and more people who are ambitious and who are chasing after the same things, then you'll see your circle start to open up and you'll start to meet all these amazing people working online from the shadows in their apartments, just behind their computer all day, or maybe they're on social media as well, like me, with the YouTube channel, with a TikTok presence, who knows? There are so many young people out there really making it work. So why not you? Anyways, cost to start. So really, cost number one here, you have your product. So typically you want to start off lower ticket. And this is because higher ticket is a bit more expensive. There's a bit more of a barrier to entry to get involved with it. Because of course, if the product is costing you $100, you're gonna need that $100 to spend. Also, if you're running paid ads, you're gonna be spending a lot more money to acquire that first customer in the door. So there's certain things with higher ticket dropshipping that I would say poses more of a threat and more of a risk when starting out in terms of the capital that you'd be spending and the time that you would be investing. So for beginners, I always push them to start at a smaller amount, especially if you're promoting on TikTok. Most of the user base on TikTok is generally a younger demographic. They can't afford to pop on and buy a product worth $500, but they can afford to impulsively buy a $20 or $30 product. So cost number one is your product, and you'll typically need to order this into your house if you want to test it, feel it, use it before you start selling it, and of course, if you want to create videos and content for it. Now, cost number two is going to be your Shopify subscription. So this is literally $1. I think they just changed it from, it used to be 90 days, $1 per month, but now it's $1 per month for 30 days. So if you use my partner code, I'm a Shopify certified commerce coach, which will be in the description, you'll get Shopify for $1 for the first month, and then thereafter it's $29 a month. Now, cost number three is gonna be your website domain. Typically on a website like GoDaddy, you can pick up a domain for about $5 a year. If you go through Shopify, it's gonna be, I believe, $14 upfront and then a small fee monthly, or depends how you do it. But either way, guys, this cost is extremely cheap. And like I said, roughly it comes out to around $30 per product test when you are starting off with free marketing and organic marketing, which we'll also dive into later on in this video. Now, just before we move to the next slide, if you've made it this far, I wanna congratulate you because you're an action taker. You're already at least 10 minutes plus into this video, which is why I wanna reward you a little bit. So if you do these things, I'm gonna be doing a giveaway for up to $1,000, and I'm gonna be choosing 10 people within this video. So all you have to do is leave a huge thumbs up on this video, comment something insightful down below. Has to be at least one sentence, maybe something you learned, maybe why you want to get started with Ecom, what's been holding you back, whatever it may be, comment that down below. And of course, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. That's it, those three things, and I'll be picking 10 of you guys to send some money to and have a small chat with personally. So if you want to stay up to date with that as well, make sure you tap into my upcoming YouTube videos, turn the post notifications on, or follow me on Instagram as I'll reveal the winners in my next video, but also on my Instagram story. So look out for that. Now back to the regular programming. Product criteria. So to start, product must improve someone's life, point blank, period, okay? If you're selling a product that is not gonna do anything for anyone, then it's just gonna be much, much harder, especially as a beginner. I would highly recommend staying away from it. This ties into the most common types of products that you hear about, which is a wow factor or problem-solving product, right? You can take it a step further. Well, if it's improving someone's life, how so? Like what problem or what particular pain point is it alleviating, right? And some examples off the top of my head that always do well are fitness products, right? It's alleviating people of their discomfort in their body image, right? You also have beauty products. It's alleviating people of their insecurities and their lack of confidence. They don't like the way they look. And so if you can provide them with that solution in one go, then that's how you're gonna sell on impulse. You have to understand that when it comes to selling products, dropshipping specifically, e-commerce, you are advertising on social media, whether organic or paid. Your consumers are very different than the average traditional consumer. Let me explain. These people are scrolling through their For You page looking for a little bit of dopamine in the downtime of their day. How do I know this? Because I've been there, you've been there, we've all been there. What do we do when we get home after we're tired, after a long day of work, in between classes at school? Pull out this guy and we start sitting like this, like a zombie, just scrolling through our TikTok feed. And that's why, hot women and cars and expensive stuff always does so well, because it gives people that dopamine, that hit of excitement that their boring, mundane life just doesn't have. So if we can portray that in a video ad creative, and if we choose the right product to do so, that is how we're gonna get rich. We're gonna hit these people on impulse and they're gonna buy from our store. Because look, truth of the matter, and nobody talks about this, is that you are not Walmart, you are not Target, you are not Apple. You are a shitty little dropshipping store. No matter how good your website, your theme, I don't care, that is still the case. To be a real brand, it takes years. It does. It takes years, and it takes customer loyalty, and it takes people knowing about you and word of mouth and all of these things that you do not have as a dropshipper. Because if somebody was already in a buying frame of mind, think about it. If somebody had a problem, they wanted to solve it, they would go to a brand that they trust, right? If I have an issue with my health, maybe I'm going to, well, I should probably go to my doctor, but maybe I'm going to Apple because I've heard that Apple has an Apple Watch that can track all of my metrics and make me more healthy over time, right? I'm not going to some dropshipping store 50% off resistance band crap. So if you wanna make sales and if you wanna be successful doing that and starting your brand from scratch when nobody knows about you, you have to catch people on impulse, and your marketing and your creativity has to be so good that people do not care. They literally do not care that you are an established brand. They just want your product so bad in the moment. They click on that ad, they go to your website, your funnel, which we'll talk about later, your website has to be so dang optimized that it's the most frictionless and seamless process possible to get this consumer from point A to B. And then when you do that, guess what happens? You get the consumer's email, you get the consumer's phone number, and customer data, and then over time, like I said, it takes years to become a big brand, but at least over a few months, a few weeks of orders, you start to build up a list, and then you can profile these customers, right? And then you can start running lookalike advertising campaigns. You can start running retargeting advertising campaigns, which basically means that it's gonna find similar people to your existing customers, thus making you more sales. But in the beginning, you don't have that luxury. You don't have brand assets. You don't have email lists to follow up with. You aren't a brand. You need to win on impulse, and that is the truth of it. I don't care what anybody else says. Now, product cannot be bought from a regular store. This is another important point. It doesn't always have to be like this, but again, when you're looking at a product, let's try to run through this criteria because it's gonna help you out so much, especially when you're starting from scratch. If you can go to, again, your local Walmart or Target to buy this exact same product, then why sell it? Because you know that these consumers are gonna go to the brand they trust to buy the product, even if it's more expensive, even if you've undercut Walmart. Sure, fine, you probably didn't, but even if you did, why on earth would they go to you? Now they're worried about their product showing up at their house, their friends. Nobody's mentioned this website. Nobody knows about it. No one's talking about it. But Walmart, everyone knows. They can just go to their local Walmart, order it online, no stress, no worries. They know the product's gonna be there tomorrow, or same thing with Amazon, right? So I always like to have a good scout, just see how difficult it is for people to get their hands on the product. And that ties into the uniqueness of it as well. And chances are if it's unique, it's also gonna have a wow factor, which means that your creatives are gonna be very compelling and you'll be able to get people on impulse. And then if you stack that with the product improving someone's life and being a problem-solving product, well, now you really have something that can catch people on impulse and that can make you some serious money straight off the rip, regardless of not being a brand yet. And then lastly, we have the product must be able to be sold for a minimum 2.5x markup. Now, you can play around with this. Like sometimes I've sold products that are marked up 10 times and other times it's been a lot less of a margin. It really just depends. Typically with lower ticket products, I like to kind of set the rule of like 2.5x markup. Otherwise it just gets so hard because you're playing with such razor thin margins and the product cost is so cheap to begin with. Your CPA is so low, you can't get anything profitable and the whole operation just goes to shit, right? So at least make sure you have a minimum 2.5x markup, which means if you find the product for, $5 on AliExpress or through your supplier, then sell the product for at least, what is that, $12.5? But aim for obviously 3x or more, 3.5x. So if we get the product for 5, sell it for 15 or sell it for 20. But of course, do some competitor research, see what other people in the space are selling the product for, and kind of go based on that. Now, this is just an example of, again, products that you shouldn't really be selling versus products that you should be selling. Now, I actually sold resistance bands and modeled my website after TRX, but this was years ago, right? The game has changed now. If you're selling the same saturated products that everybody is selling or big brands that people trust and are loyal to already have, well then good luck. For example, this product here on the right has been going crazy lately. I actually know somebody personally who has scaled this to 7 figures, and it's basically just an attachment that goes on your car and allows you to use CarPlay. I mean, it's a serious problem-solving product, and you can't really go and buy this. Like, I mean, maybe they have some iterations of it or other dropshippers selling it on Amazon or whatever, but there's no go-to for this. Like Apple does not have an Apple car device that everyone just uses. Versus resistance bands, the market's a bit different. It's already kind of cornered. These are kind of more the unique products on the right that you'd be looking at. Now, there's a bunch of different methods to think about when it comes to finding your products, right? Method number one is essentially tricking the algorithm. So what you want to do is you want to create a TikTok account, a fresh account. Do not use the same account that you scroll through every single night to look at girls shaking ass and supercars and Tate yelling at you or whatever the hell you're looking at. Create a fresh one and start interacting with organic ads. So whenever you see a product pop up on your feed, a product probably that you know is a dropshipping product or just any e-commerce product, honestly, just interact with it. Like it, comment, go to their page, go to their website even, and go through their funnel all the way up until you're about to purchase, and then just obviously don't purchase it unless you got baited by the impulse and you want to buy it too. I don't know. But that's basically called completing a ghost purchase, and you want to rinse and repeat that process until your feed starts to become full with organic ads. This is because when you do this, TikTok categorizes you as somebody with purchase intent. So then what's going to happen to your feed is you're going to get served up all of these products and all of these ads, and you can use that to your benefit and advantage by looking at what's out there and what's working for other people. And that's an amazing place to start. And another serious truth of the matter that no one shares here, because I know everyone wants to be different, wants to be unique, just copy. Like if something is working very well for somebody else, then guess what? That means it'll probably work very well for you. And I realized this very early on. And that's why also, people like to gatekeep their products and whatever, because they don't want like a million dropshippers hopping on the same product. So I kind of understand it. The truth of the matter is, if you have a solid funnel, if you have a product that everyone wants and your creatives are amazing, you just got to copy that. If you see that, copy that. Copy it, put your own twist on it, make it a little bit better, keep trying different creatives that are gonna work even better than theirs. But in the beginning, why not go with something that has a proven concept than take a random leap of faith, right? It comes back to what I was saying earlier about starting with dropshipping versus starting with anything else. With dropshipping, you don't have to invest much time, energy, or money in. And so if you fail, it's not the biggest issue. It's not the biggest thing. You just start again, and then again, and then again, and you become so good at it and so fast at it that you'll fail every single day for 9 days straight, and on the 10th day, you'll start making bank. So why wouldn't you do the same thing here? Copy somebody else's product that is absolutely crushing it if you're starting from scratch. Figure out how to get that to work, at least to a fraction of the level that these people are selling it at. Once you do that, then you have some money coming in. Then later on, you can take those bigger, more risky plays, the high ticket drop shipping, the stuff that nobody's selling. But in the beginning, copy. Now here are some example videos. I'm sure you've seen like hashtag TikTok made me buy it and these kind of different hashtags. You can even just type in hashtag shop now and you're gonna start to get all different kinds of products just by looking up keywords like that. And on TikTok as well, you can filter by like the last 3 months, the most liked. So that way you're getting relevant stuff that is being highly engaged with, and you know that these videos are doing well for somebody else. Then of course you can go to their website, you can analyze it with Shop Hunter, you can literally see exactly how much sales they're doing per day, and you can dissect everything. Like if you really spent an hour, you could dissect somebody's entire business model, go through their funnel, go through their Facebook page, go through their TikTok page, see exactly how they're generating their traffic, and replicate them. That is genuinely how I made, my first 6 figures with dropshipping, was simply replicating stuff, right? And I made some mistakes. I used some stolen content. I did some things I shouldn't have done. And I learned from those, right? And I also want to tell you guys these things so that you don't make those mistakes. As much as I say replicate, I don't mean, rip all of the text, rip all of the images, rip all of the ads exactly as somebody else's brand did, because then you're gonna get a cease and desist letter and you're gonna get shut down like I did. And I went from $5,000 a day to $0 a day, and that shit tore me apart. Like imagine you're an 18-year-old kid, you finally start making all this money, and overnight you lose it all. That was hard to recover from. So when you are replicating things, always change them enough. Like just don't be an idiot with it. Replicate it enough, but don't go one-to-one copy. If you go one-to-one copy, if you're literally using people's custom content that they shot themselves, well, now you have a problem because these people can come after you, and that's how you're gonna lose everything. And look, if you do happen to copy a little bit too much in the beginning, once you start making some sales, you better make sure within the first couple of days or first couple of weeks, you start changing in all the things, right? So if maybe you've used a little bit of somebody's ad, you've used a little bit of somebody's images in your website, just because they were doing really well. Make sure you change that shit immediately once you start doing well. And you can make very similar stuff. Like if you know that this guy's website's performing and these images are obviously performing well for him, maybe you've taken them and you've used them. Okay, you've gotten away with it because it's such low order volume. But after a couple of days, you're starting to see more success. Don't be an idiot. Change these images out immediately, take your own, order the product in. And they can be the same images, but they just have to be yours. Look at what somebody else has done and replicate it, but don't steal. Don't straight up steal their stuff. And like I said, if you do steal their stuff, then you better make sure that within the next couple of days, before anyone sees, you change that shit out with your own stuff, because otherwise you're gonna be screwed. You're gonna be like me, who was using other people's stuff on my websites for a couple of weeks, and it came back to burn me, and I lost everything because of that. Stupid mistake that was so easily avoidable if I replicated rather than stole. Now, some more product research methods, right? We have simply scrolling through AliExpress, Temu, 1688, Amazon, all of the big box, retailers and wholesalers that have all of these products listed. Literally, like it says here on the slide, course the platform to see what products are out there to sell. Make sure the products that you want to sell meet the set criteria before running them up. So again, the criteria we just talked about, go through that checklist. Literally take a picture of it on this YouTube video, take a screenshot of each slide if you have to. I'll also add the slide deck down below for you guys in the description. So make sure you grab that at the end and leave a like for me while you do that. But yeah, really make sure that the product hits the criteria. Another thing you can do on these websites is you can contact the supplier. And here's the thing, again, nobody's gonna tell you this stuff. The thing is, you don't have to message a supplier after you find the product. In fact, you can do the inverse. So again, how I made my first probably $500,000 in dropshipping sales was literally because of this. So what I would do is I'd go on AliExpress, I'd go to random products, right? I'd just go on the homepage, you go to the most random product, and I'd scroll down to the bottom where it says contact supplier. If they had a 5-star rating, they had lots of good reviews, I would contact them. It's a little bit sneaky here, but I would tell them to text me on WhatsApp, Skype, or WeChat. Those are the big three that these suppliers typically use, right? And so how I would do this is I would sometimes put spaces in between my phone number so that it wouldn't get flagged by the system, because AliExpress does not want you to have private conversations with the people who list products. The reason why is they take 7% fees on every single transaction that runs through their platform. So if you're doing deals on the side, AliExpress's whole business model doesn't work. They can't make their money. But why it's important for you to do this, even though it's a little bit sneaky, is because then 1, you don't have to pay the fees. 2, you can negotiate for better deals and better shipping one-on-one directly with the supplier. 3, you can get more reliability. You can get insights into their factory. You can see what other products they have to sell. And 4, quite possibly the best thing about this is you can get access to stuff that nobody else can. Now let me explain. This is actually wild. It's how I made easily my first 500,000, like I said. Basically, I'd hit up all these suppliers to the point where I had a roster of suppliers, literally all from AliExpress. I was chatting with them all on WhatsApp, and it got really weird. Like, it got to a point where one of the suppliers that I was talking to, she just ended up kind of enjoying chatting with me. Like, we would send each other like hearts and shit back and forth. Again, to be honest, I was kind of just playing along with it because this is a relationship that I needed, right? She was working high up at a supply chain in China, and I knew that if I built this good relationship with her, I would get access to things that nobody else could, like insights and data in their factory, seeing exactly what products are selling best for other dropshippers and things like that. And that's exactly what happened. So over time, we would hop on calls and I'd be like, hey Jane, can you tell me like what's selling really well right now? Like I wanna jump on a new product. And she would do so because 1, we had a good relationship, and 2, she wants to make more money too. Remember, these suppliers want to make money just as badly as you do as a dropshipper. So they're going to do everything in their power for you to bring them in money. And you're going to make a heck of a lot of money too. So this supplier would literally send me spreadsheets from their factory showing me order volume of particular products from particular stores. So I had back-end access to probably hundreds of dropshippers, and I knew exactly what they were selling, how much they were selling daily, and what I do with this? I replicated. I checked websites that were crushing it. I took products that were crushing it, and I started running up multiple stores, right? And this, sure, it might be a little bit of a gray area, but it works because nowhere else are you gonna get access to the insights and what's really going on than directly from the source. So how do I recommend you do this too? And I've done this with multiple suppliers since. Again, you reach out to as many people as possible. You start building your connections in China. You start building these relationships with these people at these sourcing plants and manufacturers and even middlemen and Chinese dropshippers and whatever. And over time, you start to realize that they are willing to share stuff with you if they feel that they can make more money with the partnership and working with you. And that's what you need to communicate to them. That is gonna open up a serious key that, again, nobody talks about this stuff when it comes to product research. So yeah, make sure you seriously write that one down. If you have your journal, you have your pen, whatever, because that has made me so much money early on. It's crazy. Anyways, now we have to cover paid research tools as well. Again, another great way to find products. There's no one size fits all. You should be using multiple different sources to find and locate winning products. I used to dedicate an hour and a half every single day before I had a product research team, where at the end of the day, I would go on my big monitor, my big screen, pull up all my different product research methods, and I'd just, chill. I'd have a drink in hand, I'd have my journal out, I'd take notes on different products, I'd be saving different products to different folders, and a very key aspect, a very key research platform that I was using were these paid tools, right? So we have PP ads, we have Minea, we have ad hoc, and you wanna filter through the top performing ads per platform. So look at TikTok ads, look at Facebook ads, and once you found, again, a product to match the criteria, start reaching out to some of your suppliers and start running it up. Now, AutoDS has been changing the game lately when it comes to suppliers. I also have started working with them on a partnership basis, and these guys are killers. Like, I've met the founder, I'm personally friends with him. They're great guys, and not only do they source and find winning products for you, so they also have their product research tools built in, but they'll also automatically fulfill all of your orders. So you don't have to worry about any of that headache. I remember when I was starting out, I would literally have to place orders one by one, be filtering through spreadsheets, I'd be checking over so many things. AutoDS is your one-stop, all-in-one solution that does all of this for you. So like I said, I always like to mention, other people as well that I've used in the past, like PP ads, Minea, ad hoc, and so on and so forth. There's tons of great paid research tools out there for finding winning products. There's none better than AutoDS right now, and they're more of an all-in-one tool. So not only can you do the product research, but they'll also take care of so much other stuff for you as well. And I'll have a discount code and a unique link down below in the description if you guys do want to check them out as well. All right, now you found a product. Well, hopefully you have, because I just gave you all the methods to do so. But now what? Well, step one, order the product off of Amazon to your house. Now, typically with most products, you can find them on Amazon somewhere. If you search the right keywords, you'll come across it. Now, if you can't, and there's been many times where I couldn't either, what you wanna do is you wanna reach out to your suppliers. If you're working with AutoDS to fulfill your orders, reach out to them. They have a great support team, and see if you can get a product expedited to your house as quickly as possible. So just tell them, I don't care if I have to spend a little bit of extra money, it probably won't be much. Put it on express logistics and send it to my house now, because I need to start recording video ads. That's what you have to say. Now, another sneaky hack. For those of you who really don't want to spend any money, here's something you can do. You can find Amazon listings for the product, reach out to the seller on Amazon and tell them you'll leave them a great review. Or tell them you'll get you and 4 of your friends to leave them an amazing review, or whatever. Reviews go a long way on Amazon, and sellers are desperate for reviews. Chances are, if the product is low ticket to begin with, they might even send it to you out next day for free. I've done this time and time again. If you come to an agreement, this is back when I had such little money in my account. I was doing this all the time just to save the $20, $30 on product costs. So that's another option that you can do when starting out if you really need to. Now, while you're waiting for your product to come in, it's probably a good idea to create your branding, create your overall feel of how your website and brand's gonna look. You can use Canva to manually do it. Now, there's a bunch of AI tools out there as well that will literally build logos for you, color schemes, whatever you want, for free, quickly. Websites like Namelix and Luca to actually, pick out a name for you based on what keywords you're putting in, based on what industry you're operating in. Just so many amazing possibilities with AI right now. and even Canva, like you can whip logos up and brand color schemes and things in a matter of minutes. But my point being here, don't take too long on any of this stuff. You don't have proof of concept yet. You're not making money off of your store yet. You can always come back and you can change all of this. And in fact, you will. Once you have some success, you're gonna do a rebrand and then another rebrand. And even the biggest brands in the world are always rebranding. So don't think that you're gonna be locking yourself in with a logo or even a name, right? A name is probably the thing that you're most locked in with because it is hard to rebrand a name. I mean, it's not really that hard with dropshipping in the beginning, but I'm just talking like longer term. But you're not locked into a color scheme. You're not locked into a logo. You're not locked into any of this stuff. So just make it good enough to start, but don't obsess. Don't become a perfectionist because this is taking away time from the things that you need to be focusing on. Remember to keep the branding simple and straightforward. Just refer back to some of the biggest brands out there and how simple and clean and effective they're able to communicate their message, because the color schemes and the logos and all this crap isn't taking away from who they are, what they stand for, and what they're selling. Here's just an example of some dropshipping brand logos, right? Gymshark started off with the dropshipping model and became, you know, the billion-dollar business that they are today. Same thing with Fashion Nova, and Soulset is another very successful dropshipping company that sold the sunset lamps. I'm sure you've seen those. They were trending very, very hard about 2 years ago. I mean, they've been trending for a while. They're probably still selling very well to this day. But yeah, just solid example of some clean, simple, minimalistic logos, and that's really all you need. Now, next, you need to be creating your accounts, right? So create a Gmail account. This literally takes 2 minutes. Create a TikTok and Instagram account. Again, another few minutes, especially after you have the Gmail account. It'll be very simple and straightforward. Start adding your branding to all of these social accounts and connect your Instagram account to your TikTok account so people can get funneled from your TikTok to your Instagram until you have enough followers, and then you can start leaving your link right in the bio of TikTok. I think it's 1,000 followers, but in the meantime, the good news is you can connect your Instagram. The viewers can go to your Instagram, and you can always have a link in your bio on Instagram if you set it to a business account, right? So that's how you kind of get around that in a sense. This is an example of a social media account. So, you know, imprint.officialstore, they have their little slogan and they have their link, because they're over 1,000 followers. But if they didn't, you just go to their Instagram and you'd write a link below an Instagram or something to kind of encourage them to go to the Instagram page, and they'll actually be able to shop from there. That's pretty much all it is. Very, very basic, very straightforward, very simple stuff. It'll take you no more than a few minutes to set up. Now the next step gets more interesting here. We have to start crafting our content. So how we're actually going to make sales. And like I said, you want to be starting out if you're a complete beginner and not spending money, not turning to paid ads right away. So the most effective ways to do this without wasting as much time as possible, without wasting crazy amounts of time, is to start by spying on competitor accounts. So like I was saying, take what's already working and replicate it. And then after you've replicated it, see if you can even improve it. See if you can put your own twist on it. Find the creatives that went viral for them. Do research. Maybe make a spreadsheet of all the most viral creatives in your industry. Then narrow it down to your product. Then start to pick apart the data and see which hooks are the most successful, which CTAs are the most successful, which type of videos typically get the most views, and then start drafting up all of your content ideas and what you could be putting out there, right? So I'd say a solid place to start when you're building out this spreadsheet or this document is to use the top 10 videos you find of your product or of a similar product and just replicate them. Then create 10 more videos that are not only replicating them, but you've added your own twist. So you're trying something new on top of that, but you're taking kind of proven concepts and proven formulas and things that typically tend to go over well and generate a lot of views and ultimately a lot of sales for your product. So that's a pretty solid starting point for content. And then the next step is you need to build your storefront. So as you're creating all this content, you can't just start posting it out yet. You should be drafting it, you should be getting ready, but you don't have a website yet, right? We haven't even touched on setting up your website. And so I have good news for you, very good news. You can use my AI software that'll create you a dropshipping store for free in 10 minutes. I'm dead serious. For free, in 10 minutes, you'll have an entire store built. It'll take you through the setup of your Shopify account while you do this. It'll get you set up for the $1 a month plan. And full transparency, I make affiliate commission. I make a bit of the money that Shopify makes because you have came through my affiliate link. I really appreciate it if you guys use the link and support me, and it'll be inside this store builder, and that's why I've made it entirely free for you guys. But it's literally the craziest win-win. So make sure you sign up for it. And if you follow the steps I'm about to go over, you'll be able to have your store in, like I said, 10 minutes. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and say that this store is gonna be a beautiful store that looks like it costed $10,000 from a developer. We are not at that level yet. We are not there. Not only with our AI tool not being able to build stores of that caliber, of that, $10,000 caliber, but also don't need to be there, and you don't want to be there. So remember earlier in this video when I was saying that you want to catch people on impulse, you want to have your customer go from A to B as quickly as possible. The way to do this is with the most simplistic, minimalistic store and funnel possible. Again, this is something that nobody talks about because everyone looks at the big brands. Everyone looks at Apple. Everyone looks at Microsoft. Everyone looks at these companies that have all these bells and whistles, right? Actually, I guess Apple's pretty clean and simple, but you get my point. All these companies that have all these bells and whistles, all these pages across, their website, maybe even some scarcity tactics, and 10,000 people are viewing this right now. You've seen the dropshipping stores where the pop-up spin the wheel for a free discount, all this crap. What is this gonna do? This is gonna clutter the heck out of the customer. It's gonna overwhelm them. They're gonna have no idea what to purchase, and they're ultimately just gonna leave. The reason why people do this stuff later down the line is because they have loyal returning customers. So if you're a loyal returning customer, hell yeah, I'd love to spin the wheel. I'd love to, unlock exclusive discounts and put my name down for this and email in for that. And I'd love to spend time browsing all your different products and looking at all the pages on your website because I'm in love with the brand. I love Apple. I love buying Apple products, right? But you are a beginner dropshipper. You do not have that luxury yet. You do not have a brand. And I can't stress this enough. So what do you need? You need the most simple website possible. The truth is, it does not matter. All you need is a clean few product images, a clean few bits of text that are very benefit driven, possibly a video of how to use the product, possibly a few simple GIFs. Besides that, you need the most frictionless, pain-free, easy checkout process as possible. Of course, you want to use nice brand colors, you want to look trustworthy, and this AI tool is going to be able to do exactly that for you for free. And then you can go in after 10 minutes when the store is created and you can make a few small tweaks. If you want to change some images, you want to change some images on the homepage, you want to change a bit of the text, go for it. But the AI is going to set up 90% of what you need in 10 minutes, which is absolutely wild, and I'm super proud of it. So make sure you guys take full advantage while it is 100% free, and I'll have that linked down below in the description. It'll probably be the top one because it's super valuable. Send it to a family and friend. It's literally a free store built for you by AI, and it's taken us a while to roll this out. We've partnered with multiple different software developers now, and we've finally found the best team to work with that is producing the best quality stores that are gonna get you the best results for free. Now, next step, we touched on this a little bit earlier, but I'm just gonna explain it a little bit more in depth here. You need to get yourself a domain. So you can go to the .my Shopify domains in the left-hand side of your Shopify. Now, these are typically not the best for your conversion rate or your professionalism. Purchasing on GoDaddy, Namecheap, or .store will likely do you much better. In the beginning, again, this stuff isn't a huge deal, but I do want to stress the importance of having a .store domain. A website ending in .store instantly tells customers that your website is an online store and associates it with selling. Therefore, the more traffic that you get, the more sales you get, the more profit, the easier you're going to be ranked on Google, the easier SEO is going to come to you. And .store domains typically rank higher across Google and all search engines. It's no wonder why some of the biggest brands in the world have already switched over to a .store domain, and I'll make sure to leave a discount link and a unique code for you guys with my partners over at .store if you do want to check them out and secure a .store domain at a crazy affordable rate, especially with the discount code. But in the beginning, if you're just starting out, like I said, you don't necessarily have to, but a little bit later down the line, you can start to think about acquiring a .store domain. And these small things are overlooked by so many people, but are gonna make a huge difference for you in the long run. All right, next up we have marketing. Oh shit, it's dark out. See, I've just been sitting here dropping so much sauce for you guys that it went from light to dark already. But anyways, the product should be at your house at this point, because remember, we were supposed to order it on Amazon or express ship it to our place from the supplier. You filmed all the required clips that you've seen your competitors do. You've sat down, you've taken cool images and shots of the product, so on and so forth. We talked about this. Throw them into CapCut. It's a free editing software and app you can get on your iPhone, your iPad. You can clip and edit it, upload it to TikTok and post. I'm sure you've heard about it because so many creators not even just dropshipping creators, but just creators in general have been using it to create amazing TikTok videos. Now, of course, you can also edit in the TikTok app. It's not a huge deal. The good news is when creating ads and videos on TikTok, especially with organic, what tends to push the hardest is the most native videos. I mean, you guys have probably seen like maybe people who create dropshipping videos or people who create videos on, you know, how to get girls or whatever it may be. Videos that always get hundreds of thousands or millions of views are the most simple ones of the guys picking up their phone and just talking straight to the camera as if, you know, you're a friend on FaceTime. I feel like this raw style of content is doing so well right now because we've pushed so hard in one direction of retention editing and making the perfect high quality videos, you know, with creators like Mr. Beast, that a lot of people out there just want to see something natural, especially on TikTok. And especially when it comes to a dropshipping ad, because a dropshipping ad is the farthest thing from natural possible. You're literally shoving some cheap product in somebody's face and saying, buy it. That is the farthest thing from natural. So if you can make that as natural as possible and as native to the platform, you know, pick up your iPhone and film the product, make it funny, make it relatable. These are the videos that are gonna push the hardest because people won't really know it's an ad. They'll just stop and enjoy the video and then realize it's an ad and then get caught on impulse and then buy your product, right? So with CapCut and with these editing softwares, you can clip and you can edit and upload to TikTok on the same day and post it. Typically, I like to follow the posting strategy of posting 3 times a day, which results in 21 posts going out per week per platform, right? Because the good news is when you make one of these short form videos, you can also post it on Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, Snapchat Spotlight. Like the list is ever growing now, even since I made this this slide deck, right? It feels like every day there's another, LinkedIn started a short form platform and Pinterest and Twitter, right? Like they all have their place where you can go and you can scroll through endless content. Like TikTok started that wave and every social media platform's hopping on it. But that is insanely good news for us as dropshippers because that means when we make a video that we are intending to use to sell a product, well, we can blast it in so many other places, which is so many other chances for us to go viral and make a ton of sales off of that one video we created. Now imagine you're making 3 a day and you have 21 plus posts going out, probably more if you're using more of the platforms per week. All you need is one video to go viral and it'll change your life. It'll bring you enough money in that then you can start running paid ads, you can start opening up new stores, you can start adding new products, you can start expanding into a brand and all of these crazy things, all because of one organic video on TikTok. That being said, like I talked about earlier, don't get discouraged. Be ready to create 500 TikTok videos before you get that one that pops off. However long it takes, put your head down and be ready to put that work in. Because I promise you that if you don't stop and you don't give up, you will eventually get that video that goes viral. You'll eventually get that winning product. You will. And then your life will be forever changed and you'll keep moving forward and you'll keep having success. And it'll only be a matter of time before you're a 22-year-old millionaire sitting in your dream apartment. I swear to God, that's exactly how it worked for me. Now, some more sneaky marketing tips here. So you want to reply to all your comments with videos. Not only does this give you so much more content ideas to continue selling the product, but it also retargets the viewers. So let's say you get a viral video or somewhat viral, 100K views of your product you're selling, right? There's going to be a ton of comments, maybe some controversial ones, maybe some, Karens up in the chat. Go to these comments, reply to them with another video. It's going to retarget those 100,000 people who saw that existing video, pop on their feed, and in this video where you replied to the comment, now you can sell harder. You can push the product down the throat more because these people are more warmed up to it. They've seen the product before and they're more likely to buy it, right? So focus on virality first and then focus on kind of hard selling the product after you're starting to get views, after you're starting to build a little bit of a buzz on the page, get some community. And ensure you're prioritizing the hook and the CTA of each video, right? So the hook is the first 3 seconds, otherwise known as a scroll stopper. It's the most important thing because if you have a really boring ass hook, then nobody's gonna stick around and watch the rest of your video, which means they're not even gonna get to the CTA. So they're not gonna even know that you have a product for sale and how to buy it. Not to mention that they won't be long enough on your video, so the algorithm will say this video sucks, let's stop pushing it out because people are just getting bored and leaving the app, and that's the last thing TikTok wants, is for people to leave the app. So you need to understand how the algorithm works there, and you need to really prioritize the hook. And then of course, when you are selling, especially when you're hard selling with the replying to the comments, you wanna make sure the CTA is on point. And typically with the CTA, you can't say stuff like link in bio. Why? Because again, like I just said, TikTok does not want their users leaving the platform. They're in the market for attention. They want people's attention. That's how they make money. If you're sending people off of the app, TikTok's gonna be like, screw this guy, his video ain't going anywhere. So instead, you gotta get a bit more sneaky and be like, check my profile or something of that nature, because then they'll go to your profile, they'll see your Instagram, they'll see more pinned videos about your product, which, by the way, you can pin videos, and in those pin videos, you can kind of showcase the benefits, the features of the product, things like that, that's a little bit more salesy. So that way everyone that comes from a viral video on your page, that goes to your page, is going to see that pinned video, and they're gonna obviously be a lot more interested based on that video, because that video was designed to sell the product versus the viral video was designed to go viral. See what I'm saying? So you wanna kind of follow all that strategy with your TikTok page, and I'm sure you're gonna get that viral video and start making those sales in no time. Also, you wanna check influencer pages to see what sounds and trends to follow. You wanna stay kind of up to date with what the big creators are pushing out, what songs are going viral right now, what trends are going viral. Because if you can hop on a trend early and somehow mix it into selling your product, that's how you're gonna go viral, right? You have to get a little bit creative, a little bit out of the box, especially if a lot of people are selling your product. You wanna come in with fresh marketing angles, and one of the best ways to do this is by leveraging and utilizing trends on TikTok. Even if it's out of your niche, bring it into your niche and mold it into a video that you know is gonna do well, and that video is gonna pop. Now, when you actually start getting your orders, you have to start fulfilling them. Unless you wanna be a shitty dropshipper, unless you wanna be a scammer and do no ship, but that's not what we're gonna be talking about, and the people who do that are just digging themselves a deep, dark hole that they're gonna be having a very hard time getting out of. So for the rest of us, for fulfilling our orders, AutoDS is the best place to start as a beginner, okay? You wanna go to AutoDS because these guys have years of experience in the game. They are gonna get the products to the customers faster than anyone on AliExpress, Temu, any of these, kind of 1688 sketchy Chinese wholesaling websites will. They work directly with agents and suppliers to ensure the products get to your customer's house, and they take care of all the fulfillment backend, so you don't have to worry about any of it. It's literally a cheat code. And on top of that, like I said, they have product recommendations, they have softwares for you to spy on other winning ads and winning creatives that are doing well for other people, and everything in between. So they're kind of your one-stop, all-in-one solution, and the best way to fulfill your orders as a beginner. But of course, I'm gonna open your guys' eyes up to some other ways as well. Like in the beginning, I didn't have AutoDS, right? So in the beginning, when I didn't know about them and when I was starting out, I started on AliExpress, worst mistake of my life. Only use AliExpress for finding products, finding suppliers. Don't use it for directly placing orders one by one. Orders will show up damaged, or they won't show up at all. You're gonna face chargebacks, refunds, and ultimately your business is gonna get shut down, because that's exactly what happened to mine doing that method. Now, you have the supplier method. So once, we were talking about earlier, building up your list of suppliers. Maybe you found them on AliExpress, maybe you found them on Alibaba, 1688, whatever it may be. Build your list, WhatsApp, WeChat, Skype them, negotiate with them, see which ones have the fastest shipping, see which ones have the best deals, and then maybe you can strike a private agreement with them. Now, I will caution you, when working with people like AutoDS, you don't have to worry, but when working with a private agreement with a private supplier, you can get ripped off, right? I've placed orders from private suppliers for $10,000, $20,000, and they didn't ship out a single one, and I was screwed, and my business almost went under because of that. So there is more risks associated. You have to have a solid relationship. You should be hopping on calls, seeing the factories, knowing that they're not gonna take off on you. You probably should get some contracts in place, but you can work directly with suppliers. That's one way to do it. There are a couple other companies out there, but AutoDS is the number one that I recommend when it comes to helping you with everything on your back end and fulfillment. And really the last method would be just like placing orders directly off of AliExpress, but like I already said earlier, just don't do that, right? Either have a private supplier where you have built a relationship with the manufacturer, you made that connection, maybe you're ordering quantity from their fulfillment center to one in the US, so you get faster shipping, but that usually comes later down the line, not as a beginner. So like I said, if you're a beginner, just work with AutoDS. It's gonna save you so much headache and hassle. If you're more intermediate, you maybe have some private suppliers, sure, that route can work for you as well. But typically, like I said, with that route, you're gonna be looking at minimum order quantities, you're gonna be looking at spending some money to order product into 3PL fulfillment centers in the US, so on and so forth. AutoDS, you can still go the route of only paying for each individual product as it's sold. So it's still very much drop shipping, but it's a lot easier than going through AliExpress. Now, when it comes to scaling, if this video gets over 200 positive comments, and smash that thumbs up, and everybody's invested in it and wants more just raw, authentic, quality content that is revealing the secrets that nobody's talking about in their multiple hour-long polished guides, and you want the truth and you want live examples of it, then let me know and I'll make a video on scaling, right? So I'll go over how to up your content output, how to hire creative directors, how to build a crazy affiliate marketing team, different ad strategies for scaling, taking some of that money, reinvesting it into paid ads and scaling up extremely fast, how to lock in your fulfillment on another level, how to hire employees so you work on the business and not in it, and that you can go on vacations and you can truly live that lifestyle. This is all in the scaling part of it. So like I said, if you guys want that, make sure you show me love on this video. It took me a long time to create. It's literally dark outside right now. And yeah, I'm exhausted from dropping all this value, but I'm sure you guys have found it informative. Rewatch it if you have to, take notes, share it to a family and friend. Don't forget the links are in the description for everything. I have a free program, a free community, a free AI store builder, giving it all away for free to you guys. Thank you guys so much for all the support and tuning into the channel and choosing to watch this video and begin your e-commerce journey with me. So yeah, thanks, and I'll see you in a few days. Peace.